The audio podcast version of the Disturbed Penguin podcast is made possible by Xavier Penguin's free time while at work. Visit disturbed-penguin.net to get an insight to the life of Xavier Penguin, as well as links to his various social sites he is a part of.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Disturbed Penguin podcast. As always, this is Xavier Penguin. Hopefully, if things went right, you may have heard something at the beginning of this. I don't know if I'm going to put it on my YouTube in terms of what, in terms on if I want it to show or whatnot. I probably will. Got to give credit where credit is due. Yeah, I couldn't wait for that. Received that little bit as well as some others. Early Wednesday morning, by around 1 or 2 o'clock, and I got to listening to it. And I'm like, all right, that's kick-ass. I'll talk about that toward the middle part of this. But anyway, welcome back to another podcast. As always, this is Xavier Penguin. Oh my goodness. The last couple of months have been a little hectic for podcasts, and I hadn't had really any time to put one up. The last one I was going to put up, I was using a different program to record the audio, and using said audio, I was able to encode the video for YouTube. Shut up, truck. and it worked just fine, but trying to upload it to YouTube, it uploaded fine. But the rendering was like, yeah, no, we're not going to do this. This failed. And why it failed, we don't know, but we're not going to let it go. I'm like, well, thanks, YouTube. I appreciate that. So I did release podcast episode 22 on my own website. But yeah, it's been a little hectic, especially the last probably 3 weeks. And I'm sorry, I sound a little tired. I mean, I'm up here at my second store, or not my second store, but at the second store that we have, and oh my goodness, I just want to close my eyes and just fall asleep. But it's okay though. It's okay. Lets me do some other things around here. But no, the last 2 or 3 weeks have been a little hectic. What was it? The first week, my pilot and I, we were in Chicago for about 4 days, from Tuesday to, it was Thursday, so about 3 days. So from Tuesday to Thursday, we were in Chicago, and that was for I think it was called the, let me look it up real quick. Let's see, type in keywords. It's probably wrong. Doobie-doobie-doo. The Vapor Expo International 2016 in Chicago. And there they had a lot of vendors and distributors for electronic cigarettes. But they also had people there to talk about what the FDA is doing for, what the FDA is doing about electronic cigarettes. I'm not going to go into detail because that would make up the majority of this podcast, and I wouldn't mind talking about it, but I want to make sure I've got all my facts and things in a row before I start spewing off information. And I want to make sure that I have links to where this information was and things like that. So that might be another podcast talking exclusively about the electronic cigarettes and what the FDA is doing and things like that. But we were up there. Oh my goodness, the drive up there was gorgeous. I mean, it was still a very warm day. Took, what was it? Interstate 55. Took that all the way up to 294. And then we got on the north side of Chicago called Rosemont, I believe. Yeah, Rosemont. Now, the people there in Chicago, they are great. I'll say that right now. Hell, even the cops were joking around and having fun, and I didn't have any problems. However, I did have problems with the drivers. I had issue with the roads, and I had issues with the fucking toll booths and things like that. So let me get my other e-cig. I think that one might be dying. I'm wanting to take a puff. There we go. Just me thinking about the toll booths is getting me a little stressed out. The stupid thing is, you would think that we should have known, but in all of my research on traveling up through there, getting to that area, I found no mention of toll booths. Now, in a 16-mile stretch, there were 3 toll booths. And it's just like, I'm lucky I had change in my pocket. Because normally, I usually keep a lot of change, but every other week I'll empty out my pocket and put it in a piggy bank and things like that. But this week I hadn't, so I was glad that I actually had change, because otherwise we'd be up shit creek without a paddle. But it was all right. It was. I just don't like toll booths. I mean, first one easy, just throw the change in the bucket, move on. The second two, the last two, going into Chicago, there were actually people manning stations, so we were able to get change back if we so desired, which that was fine. That was all right. But we get to our hotel, and we were told that it wouldn't be ready until about 3 o'clock. Well, we even stopped in... Oh my goodness. Yawn. Where did we stop? Bloomington, Illinois? I think that's right. I'm probably wrong. But it's like right smack dab in the middle between St. Louis and Chicago on Highway 55. We stopped at a Cracker Barrel for breakfast / lunch, and that was good. Got I think I got some waffles and stuff. Cracker Barrel breakfast is always good. So we had stopped there for breakfast, and I decided, you know what, let's just kill some time and everything. So I went ahead and sat down at one of the rocking chairs outside and started looking at the checkerboards that they had. So I'm like, hey, come on, pilot, let's play a game. I don't know, man. I go, we've got time to kill. I mean, it's not our room's not going to be ready by 3 anyway. So let's just go ahead and just kind of kill a little time. So we sat down and we played. And at one point, I'm doing good. He's doing good. He got the first king on one of his checkers. And after he had got his king, apparently that's where I messed up, because he got like a second one before I even got my first one. And at that point, it was just trying to hop along the board, trying to make sure I didn't get anybody, make sure I didn't get caught or anything like that, maneuvering my checkers along the way. Before we knew it, we didn't have any single pieces out, they were all kings. He had like, let's see, I want to say about 6 kings to my 3. I'm like, son of a bitch. And I thought I was good at checkers, but no, I got showed up pretty good. So we're going along, we're playing, and I think at one point he just gets tired and everything and takes one of my kings to where I have 2 and now he has 5 at this point. And he maneuvers a couple of kings in such a way that I could jump 2 of them and kill 2 of them. No, 3 of them. To where we would be down 2-2. And I look at him seriously, I'm like, dude, you doing some kind of strategy or something? And he looks at me with this big shit-eating grin. No, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm playing the game. I'm like, all right, fair enough. So I jump his 3 kings, and that was my move. And he moved one of his other kings in the path of one of mine to where I would be able to jump the other 2. I go, dude, you're throwing the game. He goes, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, all right. So I jumped him, and, I won. I got all of his kings. He goes, yep, I knew exactly what I was doing. How you like an empty win? A hollow victory there, Penguin. I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. I won. I won, which was no problem, but it was an empty victory, a hollow win, basically. That the win means nothing because he threw the game because he was getting tired of playing. Because at one point, I'm just moving pieces just back and forth in the same spot. We were pretty much at a stalemate unless he forced a hand because I didn't want to lose any pieces. Oh, there's the error. Let's see if it comes up. Yeah, I might have to find a way to take out that noise. Or at least alter it to a point where it's not too terribly bad. But yeah, he just got tired of playing and was like, you know what, I just want to go. I want to drive. I'm like, all right, fine. Didn't really want to talk at him for the first 30 minutes back out on the road. I wasn't mad or anything. I was more mad that I wanted to keep playing and he didn't want to. More so than the, empty victory or the hollow victory, empty win kind of thing. I won, but I really didn't win kind of thing. But it was fine. Now, we did get to Chicago, and we were able to get to our rooms actually fairly early. I mean, with the way that we were trucking, if we didn't stop for gas or food, we would have been there at about 11:30. But with us taking that time to play the game, stop and get gas like that, then yeah, we got there about 1. Sure enough, our room was ready to go. So we were actually able to go up into our room and just basically crash, Our hotel room had 2 beds in it. So there's no way I was sharing a bed with him. He's probably one that steals the covers. So we got into our room. I took one bed. He took the other. Let him have the one closest to the air conditioner because I really didn't need it. I probably would have froze my ass off anyway. So I let him have that. And I took the one closest by the door. And as soon as we sat down, we got our bags and stuff sat where they needed to be and whatnot, got situated. We sat our respective beds, turned on the TV, and basically crashed the fuck out. I mean, I was watching. Before I knew it, I was slumped in my bed, asleep, surrounded by pillows, the fluffy pillows that really don't do diddly squat for comfort. But hey, you've got like 6 of them. But yeah, that was fun. Huh. Yeah, sorry, I had a customer come in. I'm just looking at my whatever this thing is. Spectrograph. Whatever the graph thing is that shows the waveform graph. There we go. And yeah, if I am silent, it is pretty silent whenever the air isn't on. Might have to turn that up a bit because I'm getting cold in here. Anyway, no, I left off where we just basically crashed. I mean, we got in at about 1:15 that Tuesday. We had sat down on the beds, turned on the TV, and basically crashed for about 5 hours until about 6. Went over to right next door to the hotel to grab something to eat at a little restaurant called Tiffany's. So that was pretty cool. Came back, and on Tuesday nights we normally play World of Warcraft with myself, my pilot, my woman, Scooter and his wife, and Wolfie. No, not Wolfie from Kurt's Farlander Bus, but a friend of mine I call Wolfie. The only reason we call him Wolfie is because I kind of started it. I mean, he called himself a wolf man, so I'm like, you're just Wolfie. And I just kept calling him Wolfie, and now everyone does, even my bosses whenever they talk about it, because Wolfie and Scooter have the same name, the same first name, and if you tried to say, hey, insert real name, they would both turn and look at you and be like, what? So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just giving you nicknames, we're just calling you that. So Scooter and Wolfie. So played our normal World of Warcraft raid night. Did pretty good, things like that. And then after a rather good long play session, we decided to call it a night, and because we had to wake up early, so that way we could go to the convention. And then another customer comes in. I had to pause. And the air is on, so there's more background noise. It's like, ah! But no, we woke up early that Wednesday for the morning breakfast convention, continental breakfast convention, which wasn't bad. I'm glad that we did get breakfast at the hotel before we left. It was kind of a last-minute decision because the continental breakfast part of the convention, where we sat down and listened to speakers come through and tell us about what the FDA is doing and whatnot. The breakfast was very lacking. Fruits and, donuts and bagels, mostly bagels, and coffee, which was all right. And orange juice that was from concentrate that came from a can, and I knew it came from a can because it tasted metallic. Orange juice was kind of shitty. It wasn't bad, but it was like, I can taste the inside of the can. It's horrible. So we did that, and that lasted for about an hour and a half, almost 2. And then it was time to head out to the convention floor where all the vendors were. And I made quite a few good contacts while we were there for the couple of days. Talking with vendors of bottles, because we do need some new bottles. Vendors of equipment, got some good info from them, and good contacts from them. And it's basically rinse, rather, repeat for Thursday. Now, Thursday, though, there was supposed to be a meeting toward the end of the day, but from what I found out, it was a rehash of a meeting that went on the convention floor, and it was just going to be a rehash, just basically the same information. So I'm like, yeah, we don't need that. So we just said, fuck it, we're leaving. And we decided to come home Thursday, which was good. But yeah, it was a good long trip, just, oh my goodness, just long. It was a long drive. And, I even felt bad toward, after we had stopped at McDonald's back in Bloomington, Illinois, about that halfway point. We had McDonald's and ate there, and then we got on the road. I want to say shortly after from that till about maybe 20 miles outside of St. Louis on the Illinois side, I had a small nap. I felt bad because it's like, in case something were to happen, I wouldn't be awake to see what was going on. I wouldn't be able to help. I'm just like, well, damn. I'm so sorry, pilot. I fell asleep. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. But it was like, yeah. Still felt bad though. So that had happened, I think, a week before Zeldathon actually started. And then so for about 2 weeks, I really didn't have a lot of videos to come out. Mostly because of traveling, for business, for work. And then, of course, Zeldathon. I had tweeted out that I wasn't going to release any videos because me personally, charity is more important than my silly little shit that I do. And even this, I'm just doing this for fun, as I've said many times before. I like what I'm doing. I'm just having fun with it. If no one else does, that's fine. It's just something for me to do, a hobby of sorts. So I watched almost all of Zeldathon, except for the times that I was at work and had customers, and whenever I was asleep. But that sucker was on. It's streaming constantly for as long as I could, and trying to catch all the games that I wanted to see from Zelda. And it was good. Zeldathon Recovery was the name of this particular Zeldathon. They raised about $229,000 for Direct Relief, which is a good organization. I tell you what, the people there at Direct Relief, they are very good sports about everything. Even a couple of members from Direct Relief came to Zeldathon, so that was really neat. Kiss the duck, kiss the duck. The Yeti were making shirts for them. They had designs from various people, and they were printing out shirts, and $3 of every shirt purchased went toward Zeldathon. So that was really neat. But I decided, you know what? I want people to focus on charity more so than watching my shit. So go watch Zeldathon. So now that that's over, now I'm finally able to and the air goes off, to be able to get back to normal stuff. I started back this last Monday with a live stream. That was fun. I'm thinking about having another live stream during the week, though I don't know what day I would want to do that in. Because live streaming is fun. I mean, it's one of those things that's like, oh, okay, that's cool. It gives me something to do. If people watch, okay. If not, okay. But things are getting back to normal. I'm thinking about making one small change, though, to the lineup. Well, not lineup, but on release dates for things. I'm thinking about changing the podcast release date to maybe on a Thursday rather than a Wednesday, because as soon as I leave here from work, I have a good 35 minute drive to get back home, and at that time it's time to eat for supper, and that takes a little bit. And then I have to get my phone hooked up to the computer, edit out the parts where you don't hear, which is me basically making a rather loud noise that I can see on the waveform graph in Adobe Premiere Pro CC. So I can edit that out and then kind of fade in between the cuts to where it almost seems seamless and things like that. And then get that to render, then get that to upload, and that can take a while. Even though I have an image that's constantly displayed for my podcast. And then try to convert that or just make that an MP3 file and then edit the ID3 tag stuff and then upload it to my blog. That I have to do that really quickly to make sure I have a release date for Wednesday. So I'm thinking, I doubt it's going to happen yet, but I'm thinking I might have my blog kind of stuff, this little podcasty blog kind of thing, to be released on Thursdays instead of Wednesdays. Now, Wednesdays, yes, I still will have my Archibald's Adventures. Now, I did not do any last week due to Zeldathon. That was the more important of the two at that point. So Archibald's Adventures will return next week, during my pay week. So that will return, and I can't wait to jump back into that as well as some of the other videos that I haven't been able to record. What is it? Friday, I think, is supposed to be Dirt Rally, but I don't know when that's starting, because I know Cone just put out something for a 4-week kind of thing. I need to look into that. You know what? Let me look into that now, because I'm not too sure at the moment. The Racing League Reddit. Scroll down for Dirt Rally League Home. Pop up. There we go. Wow, we've got 193 members. Okay. Alright, so no, this is for the current one that I was not able to partake in because I've been busy. And I don't want to do everything all in one day and then finally release it. So, whoop, there goes my charging cable. Pop it back in. Okay, everything is fine. So yeah, so Dirt Rally will return on Fridays. Saturdays, I've got the Minecraft, the Kurt's Patreon server, the Farlander server is what I'm calling it. Farlander Adventures. I've been working on my little plot of land and doing some things, sprucing things up, quite literally. So that'll make a return on Saturday with some things that I've done, as well as project work for the first big project that I want to do. So I'm trying to ramp up for that, and I'll probably will play a little of that while I'm uploading. So I've got that going on, so that's good. Sunday is Disgaea. I need to work at it a little bit. But I think I should be fine for right now. And then, of course, next Monday will be the bingo. Next Tuesday will be Momodora, which that's coming close. That's coming close to being done. Yesterday's video. Excuse me for 1 second. My throat's getting dry. It's been kind of humid and dry up here in St. Louis. Like, I think we just kind of broke off the heat wave that we were having to where the air is dry, but it's cool. And that's affecting my throat a little bit. Good old cherry Coke. So I'm thinking that Momodora is almost done. And when Momodora ends, I'll be getting a new series, I believe, for that particular day. And I'm going to try to do recording with Shadow Wolf, one of the members of the Patreon server, a good friend of mine and whatnot. I have an idea for a game. I'm not going to mention it yet, but I think that that's going to happen hopefully here soon once this ends. Just too many days in a week that I want to record and stuff, and anyway. But everything is coming back to normal. Channel's going pretty good. There won't be any video coming out this coming Monday though, due to the 4th of July. I won't be releasing any video. That's a holiday. I'll probably will be playing games, but I won't be releasing any videos. That holiday is to celebrate our Independence Day. You know, the infamous speech on Independence Day delivered by the president in that movie. That will be honored by me by shooting off fireworks if I have the ability to, if the weather cooperates. It probably won't. It's supposed to be raining all this weekend. But yeah, so no video on Monday. Let's see. The other thing that I did that was fun was I did participate in the first official / unofficial Farlander UHC. We were able to do that. And I had 2 episodes because I was the first one to die. Now here's the catcher though. I thought I recorded it and I did not. So I had to pull some strings. Won't say what I did, but I was able to get the map of the world we were in, and I retraced my steps for those 2 episodes. I had decided, and a lot of people took me up on it and whatnot, or challenged with me, that for whatever place that you ended up being, you had to donate to Child's Play charity through farlandserbus.com. So if you ended up in 16th place, which was me, you donated $16. I did put a unofficial minimum entry fee. If you were able to do it, great. If not, then that was fine too. It was not a requirement. I just figured it'd be a fun little way of raising money for Kurt to get his goal closer to $60,000. So I donated $5 for the minimum entry fee. Donated $16 because I died to a skeleton because I didn't have the right weapon out and I tried to beat him with a piece of cobblestone. And then an extra $9 because I was a dumbass and didn't record, so $30 donated. And I know other people did the same kind of thing as well, and that was really neat to see. I mean, we didn't raise much, but we raised a little bit to get that goal up, and that made me feel good. That's awesome. Granted, I'm not the one with Kurt doing the whole Farlancer bus, but I've been watching him for a while, and I want to see him succeed and everything else. And that was really good to see that there were people that were willing to participate in that. And whenever we have another UHC, which we are, I can't tell you the date or when it's going to be released, but I plan on doing the same thing again. And hopefully this time I actually record myself. And if I do, that would be awesome. And the air kicks on. Thank you, air conditioner, for keeping me cold. I turned you up so that way you wouldn't be on all the dang time. So, the one thing I wanted to get into before I end this. How long have we got? Wow, only 30 minutes? Wow. Huh. Alright, well, that's actually kind of odd because I thought I would be a lot longer than this. The one other thing I wanted to get into was what you heard at the very beginning of this podcast. Sorry, I had to take a vape. You heard hopefully, if things go right, audio levels were right. You heard some music play, and then a voice came on in a very PBS style of voice, like viewers like you, whatever. Hopefully, I did it right, and I won't know until I get done rendering this, but in my head, it sounds right. I think I've got it right. But I have commissioned out a person to read me off some lines, because you know me, my voice is not that cool. I don't have an epic announcer voice or anything. Wish I did. I'd get me pissed off, and I can speak proper and type extremely fast because I'm pissed off. But normal everyday talk, or even trying to be the announcer of whatever, I just don't have it. So I figured I would commission a guy that has a wonderful voice. I'm jealous of this man. I'm extremely jealous of this man. But he read me off lines that I had submitted to him, and I paid for it. This was not free out of the generosity of his heart, but that's fine. Motherfuckers gotta get paid. And very reasonable prices too. So I had him do this, and I am extremely happy with what I received. And the what you heard will be at the beginning of each podcast from here on out, because I think it's just that good. Now, the lines I had him read, I may not use all of them, but they are really, really good. Now, the one that you heard, that will be the same all the way across. But I plan on having those same lines be played like during my live stream, like for whenever I come on, whenever I take a break, and whenever I let me think. Yeah, whenever I come on, whenever I take a break, and whenever I leave. And so there's multiple lines for those that I might interchange every so often. But I absolutely love it. The person that you heard is a frequent Zeldathon attendee. He's got a very deep voice, and his name is Shadow Temple. You can find information in the description wherever YouTube decides to put it. That will be on all of my podcasts that I do. His information will also be on my Twitch page, in the music area, on the music that I have permission to play and everything. That will be there. But yeah, that's the thing. So Shadow Temple, wonderful individual, sent me this early Wednesday morning, early this morning, and I'm like, all right, let's give it a listen. And holy cow, he said that he did quite a few runs and picked out the best ones that he thought were good, and I agree with him. He goes, he had said, let me get my email out. Let's see, is it this one? Oh, I moved it. I moved the email. He goes, ran a few tanks and found these to be the best runs. That being said, they're still the first attempt, so feel free to let them know if any of them need a retake. No, they are perfect the way it is. To me, that's wonderful. I'm not some big hotshot YouTuber or big hotshot Twitch streamer. but I like to have fun with what I do, and I wanted this to happen. This was a split-second project that I really wanted to happen, and Shadow came through. Shadow Temple, not Shadow Wolf. Shadow Temple came through like extremely quickly. I told him, take your time. There's no rush. I was kind of hoping I would have it before, the podcast, but I wasn't expecting it. But he came through. Holy cow, the audio quality and everything came out exactly the way I wanted it. Granted, the lines I had him say were kind of cheesy, but that's me. I'm a very cheesy individual. I mean, if the jokes I say, like around my friends, family, and stuff, they're cheesy. I'm a big fan of dad jokes. That's a whole other topic. But no, the lines I had him say were very cheesy, but I loved the way he did them. And he even took a little liberty in what, because I had lines that I wanted him to say, and I said, all right, so here's the direction I want you to take on these. Because he said that he wanted direction. I'm like, all right, I figured I would just go into detail on kind of how I wanted him to say it. One of the lines, he took a little liberty on, and he actually made it better. I'm like, okay, that's good. I want to work with him again with some more voiceovers for various other things. What things those are, I don't know. But I hope to work with Shadow Temple again because he is just that fucking awesome. So Shadow, if you listen to this, I highly doubt you will. You were fantastic, man. I am ecstatic that you got it to me this quickly. What I had you say worked out perfectly for the uses I am intending them for. You said the lines and took a little liberty with each little one. It made it better, in my opinion. Just overall excellent, man. And I appreciate what you've done so that way I can have a little fun, doing my streaming or doing my podcast or anything like that. So again, thank you very much. Shadow Temple, frequent Zeldathon attendee, donation station reader, text station guy, all around good individual. Follow him on Twitter, twitter.com//shadow, SHADO _temple. You can even find him on twitch.tv. I'll have a link for that also in the docket, in the description, wherever YouTube decides to put it. Give him a follow. Because I had been kind of watching his Twitter every so often, Twitter stalking. And I really went through it for about a month. I'm like, all right, he's the kind of guy that I would want to follow. So I went ahead and followed him, that and on Twitch, because apparently he streams every night. And the air went off, thank God. I'm starting to get cold. I need a hot chocolate. Quick, I need a hot chocolate stat. I'm not near a store that can get me hot chocolate. I has a sad. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the podcast. I didn't get a chance to check the email. If you have a question and you want me to answer it, I'll be more than happy to. If you take a look on the screen, you'll see an email address and things. xavior.penguin @disturbed-penguin.net. Subject line of podcast questions. Ask me anything. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Now, if it delves a little too close to my personal life, then like personal information, I'm not going to answer it. But pretty much anything, shoot me a question and whatever you want me to answer it by, or anything like that, I'll just give my opinion on it. Plus, it'll give me something to talk about and things like that. But yeah, that's going to conclude this particular episode, episode 23. Might need to start doing that too. Episode 23 on June 29th, 2016. I'd like to thank you all for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening on my website. My name is Xavier Penguin, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.